This is Greg McLaughlin of the Rebel Base Card Podcast, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast with Ian Taylor and Norrin Rad. Enjoy collecting.
Hello everybody, my name is Ian Taylor and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, your weekly digest of hobby goodness. With me as always is my co-pilot in all things Marvel cards. Someone told him it's the most wonderful time of the year and he replies, "Bah! Humbug!" Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone. Scrooge! A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. Then he gets visited by the ghost of Christmas cards. And then he is prone to shout, "I am as light as a feather. I am as happy as an angel. I am as merry as a schoolboy. I am as giddy as a drunken man. Merry Christmas, one and all. From your good buddy, Norrin Rad."
That was nice.
And I'm spent.
That was good. That was good. I was a schoolboy and a drunk all in one fell swoop.
You were. I went, that's OG.
Multiple lives.
That's OG Dickens.
Yes.
Right, dropped in.
Yes.
Dropped in.
I felt him.
It's got to be done.
Obviously, it's Christmas.
It is.
The man, Yeah.
I don't know how you do it every week.
I honestly, I don't either. I'm wasted
impressive.
in this job. Are you talking to me or Norrin, by the way?
Yeah,
I was talking to you.
Yeah, he's talking to you.
I thought he was talking to Norrin. No, I thought he was talking to Norrin. He goes, "How do you put up with him?" Never mind. Anyway, we have our guest from last week, who's also here this week. You saw him last week if you watched the video. You didn't hear him if you heard the audio. You heard us talking about him. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, Webby, otherwise known as Wesley Webb.
Thank you very much. Very nice
Welcome.
to finally be here.
Welcome. It's nice to be here. Now, I should mention at this point that you are not alone. Am I right?
Not alone.
You're not alone. So,
Yeah.
Webby lives in a very interesting house, we should say.
How do you know this? Have you been there?
And demons.
Oh, right. No. Okay.
Huh?
I thought for a minute there, I thought you'd been there. I thought that's why you were saying.
No. Like you weren't. So backstory. I met Webby at New York Comic Con.
Right.
And I met him and his wife. They were super cool. They came to trade night and we were, we were, it was like a couple of hours hanging out, all like you, me, gosh, there were like, what, 5, 6 other people there? I think it was like 8 other people.
Yeah.
It was kind of packed.
Yeah. Spidey was there. And
That's right.
we didn't know what to expect. We, New York, the whole experience was when we got there, it was, there's people everywhere. It was late at night. So, and where we were at was felt kind of sketchy. So, but we got to our hotel, hung out. I was so glad to run into you and Spidey. I should say look up to you because you're so tall. But yeah, I was like, and I think that's what I said. That's what I said to you, right? Was that I was like looking around, and then I saw your head above everybody else, and I was like, oh, that's
just like,
I thought you were going to say you're looking around. You saw his belly, you saw his navel or something like that because he's up here somewhere.
It's funny. Everyone who came by was like, you don't sound this tall. And I was like, yeah, a lot taller. But yeah, I'm glad you came, man. It was cool, dude. It was fun. It was like, I don't know. I wish we could do like an MCCW trade night and have it like an official group thing and do a whole, it would be so much fun. But yeah, that's where I met Webby and was hearing about his collection, all that stuff. And I don't know. I'm just glad you're here, man. I'm glad you made the time to come on and chat with us.
Well,
Me too.
I would say I think when I said you're not alone, for those who don't know, of course, your beloved wife is sat just to your right. Yeah.
Yes, Taylor's here along with me.
Welcome. Mm-hmm. So your wife has got the same name as my surname, but spelled differently.
Yes, Tayler.
I've never experienced that ever.
See, I knew Taylor as a woman's name before I met you. I think it's way more common over here, funny enough.
Yeah, but I've never heard it spelled with with the ER at the end.
Yeah.
That's different. Okay.
That's how I was used to it too. Yeah.
Strange. Oh well, never mind. Such is life. So you've heard all about Webby's like kind of journey and his collection, all this sort of stuff. I haven't got a Danny LaRue.
I want to hear it again.
So I'm well up for hearing it again. Our listeners sure want to hear it again because they've never met you. And I also know that you're into the same character as me. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct, and that's that's what kind of started this whole. Yeah, it's and it kind of it's a little a funny feeling. You know, you don't want to step on anybody's toes, but at the same time, it's a shared experience, right? So it's something that we're both excited about, something we both like. So it's the things I can learn from about the Black Hat with you. And yeah, so this I'm excited about this from the moment you mentioned it with my caps. I was like, really? Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited because my favorite part of the hobby is character collecting, always has been. And I think the most awkward yet rewarding experience you can have as a character collector is meet the other character collector and have that experience be like, oh, you're the one that has all these cards that I can't find. And then back and forth. I mean, yeah, that's just the best. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. Like, I know I'm lucky to know the other two. Yeah, two.
You haven't had a population explosion like I have, though. It's been 2 or 3 for the longest time.
Well, no, okay. There's no one ever going to have that kind of like, I feel sorry for you. Like, both of you guys collecting a female character, you're both so like
screwed.
Deep.
Yeah.
Majorly. Like, just majorly. I collect a naked silver dude. You have to be like really secure or really enjoying yourself to collect this guy. So that's
a great one.
We've got to get that made as a t-shirt for you.
We got have to be really secure to collect a silver surfer dude. Or enjoying yourself a lot.
Yeah. He's enjoying collecting and then some.
I'm enjoying collecting.
Yeah. So Webby.
Yeah, and I
tell me.
I got into it a little later than some too. So, you look at a 2017 Spider-Man metal set. You have the great cards. The green and the one that's numbered out of 5, and I couldn't even think about owning something like that for the amount of money that they're worth right now. I'd have to take out a loan, but it's just great how this has. There's good things to how the reason it's exploded, and there's also things like that. That I have to strive to be able to get some of the things that the OGs have.
So where did you start? What was your, because you mentioned that you used to do gaming, like Twitch and gaming streaming before. Do you still do that, or have you kind of moved on from that?
It was hard for me to, and that's what I admire about you guys and Spidey so much, is being able to carry on, like a full-time job, and then still be able to have time for something like this. If you try to make a good life for yourself, and then at the same time try to, make have a community and talk with them, and do something 4 or 5 days a week. It's tough. It's tough to find the time. So I kind of got away from doing like that. Yeah, I jumped in with a Twitch channel with the Fortnite stuff, and it was kind of fun at the time because I've gamed since I was 6 or 7 years old, and I was playing Fortnite and getting my butt kicked by 12-year-old kids every day. So it kind of made for a little bit of comedy, but but I started reading comics when I was 10, 11. I had a friend of mine. I grew up in Washington State, Tacoma, Washington, and I had a friend of mine that I would go hang out with, and he his name was Anthony Idanuzzi, crazy name, but and I haven't talked to him couldn't find him on Facebook or anything like that. So it's funny that the things you still remember. But he brought me into the comics. I always loved how you read one comic, you get it down, you read another comic, and then they had the little asterisks in the corner, and they're like, if you want to learn more about this, go to Amazing Spider-Man 1. So, and the first time that I saw one of those asterisks and I read that comic that it was talking about, I was like, oh, I'm kind of cool now. I've got this experience in my head, and so I loved it. I loved it from the get-go. I always loved Spider-Man, and it was tough when you get a little older and everybody starts liking Spider-Man and you start talking about it, and then you just sound like you're jumping on the bandwagon. But yeah, I was around in the whole a little bit later when the Craven's Last Hunt came out, and I read, got into that, and then through the whole McLaughlin issues, and then I kind of out of high school, life happens. You get kind of into your everyday stuff, and you get away from it, and but I started working at Blockbuster.
Oh yes.
And I can remember going to work, and at the time, that was right around the time that DC Michael Keaton came out with his Batman, and I was so upset that Marvel wasn't coming out with movies. Like, when are they going to jump on board? What are they doing? They're missing the boat. So, and then we jump to now,
where they own the boat.
Where they own the boat. And part of that is
yes. I always, even back then, reading the comics, always had a pull to Felicia, just because I the first time that I saw McLaughlin draw her and how he put it all together, and kind of the idea of Peter Parker and her, and I don't know. I always liked it, and then as I got a little older and got into the my boss was talking about sports cards one day, and then I got on and I was checking up on some sports cards, because at the time stuff was happening with the sports cards. It was exploding a little bit, and then I run across Spidey's channel, and I watch him open a couple things, and I'm like, wow, they got cards for this, So then I jumped on to ComC and got my first. At the time, it was before everything really blew up, and I think I got my first red 2017 red AMG Black Cat, and I think I got it for like $70 or something.
Nice.
So that, that's, the prices have gone down a little bit, but I was super excited from then going forward, and just been putting together little things here and there, and it's a lot of fun. We went to Comic-Con, and that that's a whole another experience. Taylor will tell you, there was a time I was walking around, and there's people everywhere, and I had this rush of, I don't mean to get all mushy on you guys, but I had this rush of emotion, and I was like, I'm with my people. This is really cool. So, it's been a lot of fun. There's been some adjustments here, but it's the other thing is like meeting you, Norn, and talking to you. It's most people seem, and the trade night, most people seem like they're so so nice. I don't know if I just ran into a good 4 or 5 people, or but everybody seems so welcoming, and it's a great hobby to be in right now. That's for sure.
It certainly is.
Nice. Yeah.
Certainly is.
I mean, gosh, Ian and I met and hit it off and, started chatting our way. And I mean, I don't know. Like, I know there's like some bad apples and then like other people who are trying to buy everything and pretending to be somebody else, or other people trying to buy stuff. So they get into groups to try to take things off of people, like there's a bunch of weird, shady stuff, but like, I don't know, man. Like I feel the same way. Like at the trade night, we met Keith, gosh, I'm trying to remember everybody. Matt Fuller was there, Rick Ortiz was there. Jose was there. You guys were there you guys were super sweet. Like, trying to remember who else was there. There's a bunch of other people, and it was just really kind of just nice, man. I think you're right. I mean, I felt the same way. You know what I mean? It's weird. Like I met Matt Fuller for the first time in Heroes Con, and then Ian went to Boston. So like this has been like a whole year of us meeting people we've been talking to for years on the internet. And there is that mushy feeling where you're like, oh shit, this feels like I grew up next to this person. Yeah. And we were like looking at cards around the same time, because it feels, I don't know, feels very universal in a strange way. It's very cool. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. I had the same going down the escalator into the Expo Center in Boston, where you're going down and you can see people in cosplay everywhere. And like, some dude dresses Khonshu from Moon Knight. He's like 7'5" cosplay thing going on, and someone is obviously his partner next to him, a lady, but in the Mr. White kind of get up.
That's
and
cool.
I was like, yeah, I'm home, Daddy, I'm home. Which was hilarious. So let's talk about Cat Baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. So was the red PMG your first cat?
Yeah, that was my first one. Here.
Oh, it's got some show and tell. So for those listening at home, get to YouTube.
Yeah, during right about the same time, I picked up that my red.
Nice.
My red PMG. And then
such a good image of her for that card too. A lot of space for the foiling, good silhouette. This is a nice, pretty card.
The PMG for this and this year's Spider-Man compared to the X-Men, I don't know what was there a reason they went. I mean, not to get off the subject, but the PMG was nowhere near as shiny and fun in the the X-Men as it is this year and with the older ones.
Well, the X-Men, I think is largely acknowledged now, and even potentially, dare I say it, by Upper Deck themselves, even slightly unofficially, by virtue of the fact they've fixed it, was that the PMGs from the X-Men Metal Universe set were ghastly, quite frankly, in terms of the quality and the just PMG in name only. Certainly nowhere near the mark of previous PMGs. And, I haven't actually seen one in hand from the Spidey Metal Universe set, but my understanding is they pulled it back. They when we spoke to them on the show, I mean, you heard, they said they'd gone back and got the original color palette from the original people who created them back in the 90s. And which confuses me somewhat, because you would have thought they'd have had that for their Ultra Spider-Man only 4 years ago, but still, I'm reliably informed that they fixed it, but I haven't got any of them for the Spidey.
They did fix it. They look nice. I mean, what they fixed, which was the most important thing, was the logo. The metal logo was not the corresponding color, and I was just like, what a missed opportunity. Like, I don't know. And they admitted this, and I'm sure it was pandemic and communication issues and stuff like that, because they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? But I think for a lot of card companies, a lot of the printing and stuff like that was quite a mess. Like they couldn't get, what is it called? Materials and all that other stuff, but little things like the logo matching, all that other stuff, that should have been, you know what I mean? That should have been key and everything like that. But the Spider-Man metal ones are a little more vibrant, it feels like.
They are, definitely. I mean, the high series and low, I mean, obviously the low series has got the bigger logo. The high series has got that kind of bar with the logo. I've got this high series orange, and this is literally the first time I've taken it out of its sleeve. I only received it last week. And it's just, what I love about it is the gloss of the character is defined over the background.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an orange of 25. Which is beautiful, but given that the PMG is the of 100 of the red and green of 10, the rest of them are all just the different FX parallels, like orange FX parallel and turquoise and all that sort of stuff, which is great. So they're not, they have used the PMG sparingly in that set, which I think is to their credit. Whatever you think of the FX parallels, but yeah, you can see it there when I get it in the light. You see it's got a different... She's rather lovely.
That's the image of the character, matted compared to the back, which is spoiled.
But it's great. I like it. It's good. I mean, I picked it up ridiculous for an of 25. I got it for an absolute steal on eBay.
That's awesome.
So, because the prices have...
That's, the whole idea behind this was that, I was asking you if there was some type of, an etiquette to character collectors. You look at something like that, and if there was, you're torn because at one point you want to be like, man, I wonder if Ian's looking at this one too. I don't want to get into some stupid bidding war with a friend, because there was an orange one that I missed. It was a month ago, and you put in the bid at the last second, trying to snipe it, and you just miss it by the a couple bucks. It's
it's bad. It's
at the same time, I've always believed in building relationships. If you have some good relationships with people and you treat everybody nice, so you want to build relationships with people in this hobby and don't want to burn any bridges. So especially with somebody like Ian that is pretty well known throughout the hobby, and
there's always going to be other character collectors. You never have to feel bad about that. Like there's multiple people now who are into Surfer. There's multiple people into Cat. I mean, it's not about, I think it's very tricky. I don't know what your experience has been, Ian, but like the other Surfer collector, that's kind of like a person who has a collection like similar to mine, is Uribo Jordan, who's very nice, been in the hobby for a long time. You know what I mean? For a while, he had cards that I hadn't had before. So it was very kind of like similar to your relationship with Ian. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, do you know where another one is? Like, is there anything, you know what I mean? Or like, who do I have to worry about? And, luckily, like Ian, like Jordan was like a real Surfer collector. So like when I spoke to him about like things from the comic books, he knew. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, and this is going to sound hopefully not dubious or like weird, but like if you do reach out to another character collector, I would, before you reach out and before you're honest with them and all that kind of stuff, legit check their credentials. Like, you know what I mean? If they're, especially for like you guys who are Black Cat collectors, I'm sure Black Cat is more of a, for some people, of like, oh, she's a hot girl, woman. Boom, I'm going to go ahead and collect her as an investment. You know what I mean? Not like you guys know the Kraven the Last Hunt. You guys know all the storylines for her, the McLaughlin, Black Cat. Like, you guys know such details and such like personality traits and interesting storylines for the character that makes you fans. So when you reach out to other, like, that's what I would do. You know what I mean? And also, like, if you're not friends with the people who collect your character, or at least on good terms, you're missing an opportunity for when you refine your collection where you can sell cards to fund your further collection. And those people are going to want to buy the cards. You know what I mean? They'll be like, well, we'll figure something out. let's do this. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to refine my collection between these two dates, or I'm only going to collect this type of sketch card. And then, you know, you figure out where your line is with your collector buddy.
See, Norrin has a very pragmatic and reasonable approach to things.
Why you have him around?
Whereas I'm kind of like scorched earth.
Bouncing.
Or at least I was until the last 12 months, when I had to be decidedly more grown up about things. Because quite frankly, and not necessarily speaking about you, especially with Spider-Man Metal Universe, there's Black Cat fans coming out the woodwork. I mean, all of a sudden it's like everyone wants to go after it, which is fine. You know, no issue with that whatsoever. But I'll be lying if I said a little part of me wasn't. Oh, for fuck's sake. Another one. Oh my goodness me, another one. But then I have to grow up and realize that I'm just being silly. And I'm a human being, and obviously, you know, emotions are stupid things. But the one thing I do enjoy is seeing. How can I phrase this very carefully? No. It touches on your point, Norrin, about some people who are in it for maybe different reasons. For
when you said, "How do I touch it on this point?" I was like,
"Oh." But the ones who you know are just kind of like are actually like have deeply kind of fallen for the character, if you know what I mean,
right?
They're the ones that you kind of want to kind of buddy up to and kind of hang out with and just kind of, you know, share stuff. And also there's plenty to go around, you know, with the exception of sketches and plates. I mean, you could argue comic cuts, but you know, there's multiple cuts of the character. You know, there's plenty to go around, absolutely loads. So I don't think, you know, there's. Well, I tell you what, I do liken it to. There's quite a few Moon Knight collectors I've seen recently.
That's cool,
and and it is cool. And they tell you why I like it is because Moon Knight's always been cool. Moon Knight feels like he's been around forever, but he's relatively new on the Marvel spectrum of things. In terms of when he came in, I can't remember if he came in before or after Black Cat. But
he was in the Werewolf by Night issue. I just don't know.
He might have been just before her then, because she was July 79. So I have a feeling Moon Knight might have cropped up.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, throughout the 70s, Marvel were doing all sorts of stuff, launching new characters and trying them out in things like Marvel Premiere and 2-in-1 and all that sort of stuff. So maybe. But anyway, what I love about the Moon Knight characters is that it feels like that because Moon Knight has finally got a bit of a spotlight on him, because they completely stuck the landing with that show, in my opinion. And so suddenly people are like, actually, Moon Knight's a really cool character. So it's kind of gone that way round. And that kind of, you know, that feels like it's due, if that makes sense. Which actually is an interesting one. Norrin, do you remember back, I don't know how, if you were like properly collecting Surfer at this point, but when that sequel to Fantastic Four came out, when was that? Was that 2008? 2008? Yeah. I guess the hobby wasn't what it is now. Would you have noticed if there was suddenly new people coming into the game? So I had been
collecting. God, I collected Surfer cards all the way in '92 with Marvel Universe. Like that was my kid like introduction to it. Like at the malls, seeing the hologram from '94, seeing the medals in '95. Like I was picking up Marvel cards when I was a kid. I was born in '85, so I was picking up Marvel cards when I was really young. But
I feel so old.
You're not old.
Yeah.
So look, Webby's also scared. He's like, oh,
the gray in my beard.
guy. Yeah, I want to get some gray in me. No, but so yeah, I was collecting Surfer for a long time, and my God, I have the entertainment book when Surfer was announced for the movie where they did the full spread.
Oh, Entertainment Weekly.
The promotional stuff. I got the posters. I was this close to getting the standee multiple times now. The massive one. Like I was gun ho, and I liked them. I like the movie. Surfer was good. Doug Jones's. I don't know why they replaced Doug Jones's voice with Fishborn. Anyway, but no, for me, and the cards. Gosh, I started collecting the cards like hardcore, like professionally. I don't mean professionally. I mean like spending actual money in it. You know what I mean? Like that kind of level. 2011, 12, 14. You know what I mean? Like something 13. I don't know.
Can we celebrate? Can we just say right now, happy 10th anniversary? And just
I know, right? Like,
let's just put a flag in the stand. Yeah.
There's some kind of weird. I forget when I started like picking up eBay cards in all seriousness and be like, okay, I'm going to finish up this collection. But no, like for me, the movie, I knew other people became fans of Surfer from the movie. I suspect that will happen again. Like people are already collecting Surfer. Like it's going to be a nightmare for sure. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be bad. And then when Black Cat comes out, like she came out in the video game. Did you guys see a surge of Black Cat collectors when the video game appearance came out?
I don't remember doing so, no, but that's because I think they muffed it. I
haven't played it. So
I don't know. I mean, she certainly got more profile. And I think Marvel probably sat up and took notice of that, which is why they gave the comics another pump of the gas. Her look was so different, and that whole universe, that kind of gamerverse phrase. I think it's interesting, and I don't know what the rights are with it because obviously it's a PlayStation game, so I don't know if Sony have certain rights over it or whatever it is, but. It's interesting that Marvel, I think, have only done one comic spin-off with Black Cat in. That's a Gamerverse thing. So it's a fairly limited thing. I think there's only been one card featuring the Gamerverse cat, and that was Marvel Ages. I would say there's been more this year. I think because of I think it's a perfect storm this year. I think there's obviously the profile of her, not intending to blow any trumpet here, but I think obviously I'm, as you said, Webby, that there's a profile that I bring there, whether I like it or not. That's going to be the case because we put ourselves out there, and I'm always talking about her on this platform. But I think the pent up, desire for Spider-Man Metal Universe kind of, I don't know. So I think that played a part in it, possibly. Don't know. Yeah. There just seem to be loads all of a sudden, which, like I said, is no bad thing. But I just find it interesting that we've had that sudden explosion.
And I know, Norman, you were talking about how there's those people out there, the flippers, and I've heard little talks here and there of movie with, and it would. To me, it wouldn't be. Black Cat is it would be great to have her in a movie. So I think with all the talk of that, there's probably been more collectors or people that have noticed, and probably some flippers that have bought some stuff.
Oh, there's been some spec. Yeah, there's been some spec.
Opportunist.
Stuff, yeah. Because there was a silver and black, I think it was, or something. There was talk of a movie with Silver Sable and Black Cat for quite a while. So I can hopefully tell you when I bought my very first Black Cat card.
Ew.
And it was in 2009.
Wow.
Weird. I remembered it as 2008. Which is what I've got on my Instagram. But no, 2009. I bought my first Black Cat sketch card from Masterpieces 2008A.
That's right, because you went hard on the set.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
I went hard on masterpieces, and then that was where I saw my first Black Cat. So I started with the sketches, and then I started on the base.
Sketches
chase.
are the way to go.
Yeah.
Sketches are really the way to go. Well, it's funny. So I actually have a question for you guys, for both of you. So, and I think this would be good for the audience as well. So you're collecting Black Cat. Audience is growing in Marvel cards. More people are starting to collect Black Cat. I'm anticipating this kind of thing for me on the Surfer side because Surfer's coming back.
I saw some sketch cards.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh.
So yeah. So yeah. So it's happening. So I've been having to think about this for my collection. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. How are you going to start collecting your character differently? Because as of right now, Ian's, from my understanding, has been collecting Black Cat similar to how I've been collecting Surfer, which is every card, an example of each, yada, yada. Like a Webby, so he's like, what? Like an example of each, all that kind of craziness. And are you guys going to change your tactics? Like Webby, for you, who've kind of came in on Fleer Ultra Spider-Man, you know what I mean? And now going back retroactively to collect Black Cat and do this, like, how are you, and we can start either one of you, how are you changing your methods to character collecting?
I'm going to let Webby go because people are always listening to me.
Well, I mean, with me, I think I've just gone through and tried to. I kind of just really, I'm going to use it as an opportunity to get to know more people and try to see if I can branch out and get some things that I've not been able to get before. I would think I think my favorite set for Black Cat so far has been the Women of Marvel 2 image.
Nice.
Which, I did. I've got the base. Let's see here. Gosh. I got the base. And then the.
That's funny. Match. You guys are matching.
Green.
Yeah, I haven't got all my parallels here.
Oh wow, she looks good too.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in that.
There's a few parallels from that I'm missing.
The way that she is like sitting to the side, and I mean, I don't mean to be rated R, but the whole boob thing right there. She just kind of got. I don't know. I think it's a good. But with this, I've been trying to find these. I've been trying to find the diamond.
Good. Yeah.
A year. Yeah, that's numbered out of 10.
Diamonds are tough. Diamonds are really tough from anything from in-house. Diamonds are really tough. Yeah, she has that nice big hair too. My wife and I are rewatching The Nanny, so she has that Fran Drescher kind of thing going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But she looks good in the card. But diamonds are tough. A lot of diamonds are tough. People always collect diamond sets. So most of the times the reason you can't find a diamond is because it's locked in a set. It's not like a single card.
Right. That's the other thing too. Is like there's all the character collectors, and then you have the set collectors too, which I know you dabble a little bit in too. But so I don't know. To answer the question, I'm probably just going to try to use it as an opportunity, try to stay as positive as I can. It's tough because sometimes you don't want to reach out and let people know certain things because you're worried that somebody's going to jump in and throw some extra money at it and outbid you. And Ian, I think the thing that started this was I put the comic cut on there on my Instagram that I got, and your comment was, "I wondered who got that." I was like, "Oh man!"
Oh no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All's fair in love and war. No, the one thing I will say, I very rarely do auctions, simply because they often end middle of the night for me because I'm in the UK, or something crazy like that. I mean, I do use a sniper program if there's something I really want, but I rarely do them. I usually just wait and see. What's that, sorry?
So there's a program?
Yeah, there's an app. Auction Sniper. Auction Sniper is the one I use. It's a very lovely thing.
My rendition of the program.
Yeah.
Right.
That's brilliant. Whereas mine does that for me while I sleep.
See, that's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to stop doing it.
And I can't remember what the question was now. What are we talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. So you were talking to Webby about so you're saying you don't
auctioning. Yeah.
technically do auctions.
No. Well, I rarely go into them. I do. I bid on stuff. If it's in the UK and I can control the timing, I usually do that. But anyway, no. What I was saying was the only reason I went for that cut was that I didn't have one from that issue. That's the thing. Amazing Spider-Man 195, because they've not done cuts of that issue before. And it just looked like I can't remember what it looked like now. I remember it was quite a sexy one, if I remember correctly. Did you see the one that I picked up from Amazing Spider-Man 316?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
No. Well, I'll get it up on. I'll get it up on my screen. I won't. Actually, no, I can't get it up on my screen because it's no longer on ePack. It's currently being packed and shipped from ComC to be delivered to me. Yeah, because I just emptied, literally shook it upside down. You know when you empty your piggy bank and you've got all the change on the floor? I did that with my ComC account, and it's all currently being picked up by the ComC elves, as I call them. But I was, and this is kind of going back to Norrin's original question: how have things changed? I saw quite a lot of comic cuts in this set from Amazing Spider-Man 194. And I was like, well, they're lovely, but I've got some really good ones from Fleer Ultra Spider-Man from that issue. So I've ticked that box. I've scratched that itch, if you like, however many other metaphors I can come out with. And also the price of comic cuts from Spider-Man Metal Universe, they just gave me Forrest Whitaker squint completely, because I was like, what? Because comic cuts have never been like high-end sketch or even out of 10 pricing levels. I remember I was talking about this, Norrin. The prices on some of the inserts on Spider-Man Metal Universe when it came out were just crazy. They have dropped massively. How much did you pick that cut up for? Was it 130, 120, 130, something like that?
Yeah, it was, but I don't think it was much more than 150.
Yeah, 2-3 weeks.
That's a nice cut,
4 weeks. 2-4 weeks earlier than that, you'd have expected to see it being listed and selling for 250, 300. Or well, you'd have had it listed for a lot higher, and people would have bought it.
But you would want 250. Yeah. No, I think it goes back to our conversation about everyone hoping to regain the price of the box or to regain the price of a case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very few cards should, in my opinion, be at the price point where they get you back
the money
what you've paid for a box or a case. Only the biggest cards should do that. And when I say biggest cards, I don't mean the best cards. I mean just the big ones. You know what I mean? The ones that have the most people clawing at them. You know what I mean? That's I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I know there's going to be pricing's only going to get dumber and people are only going to do ridiculous things. But Ian and I talk about this all the time, Webby. And I think I mentioned this to you at New York. It's just patience, man. It'll take, you know what I mean? It's really stupid patience. You'd be surprised. Any card I've seen, I got, no joke, crazy true story. I was always into Surfer, and then when I started wanting to build up the Surfer collection, I looked at sketches first, because a lot of old school character collectors look at sketches and older sketches and stuff like that. And I saw these two from MCC 98, and they were stunning. They're amazing. They're beautiful. I saved them on my hard drive. They're still every once in a while I go through my hard drives and I keep finding the pictures of these Surfer cars. I'm like, damn, I wanted that back in 2004, pre 2004. I wanted this sketch.
Do you lick the screen at that point?
Oh, you know it. And print them out. I actually printed out those cards and kept them in my book because I was like, oh, I really do want these cards eventually. 10 years later, the guy sold them to me. The two that I had been looking pre-2004, he sold it 10, like it was like 2000, early 2000s. So more than how many years that is, because I'm terrible at math. But eventually I got them. Is it worth all that? Probably not. But eventually it happened, and I'm happy to own the cards. But that's all it is. Like, even if you see something disappear, it reappears. You know what I mean? You the stuff that really vanishes is the stuff that you probably weren't supposed to see in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like the purely periodic angel out of 3. Like,
yeah, I remember that stupid card.
Okay.
Yeah, Cherry bought that card for a stupid price. Stupid price. He bought that as a statement card for a stupid price. It's not worth that. And then someone else bought it for half that price and then built the set. And that's it. You know how it goes. And eventually that card came back and someone was trying to sell it behind closed doors and all this other, you know how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I started trying to build a set. We opened a box of the X-Men metal. I think that might have been like that was our first Marvel box. Our first box that we opened was Orville. I don't know, it's like this written box, but we got a purely periodic Mystique. So I started trying to collect those. And then after I've gotten 90 of them, or I find out that it's going to be impossible to get an Angel. So I thought those are beautiful cards and they're colorful.
Gorgeous. They're some of my favorites. I don't know what it is. I was talking when Metal came out. Remember, Ian? I was bringing this up too. I was like, because I wanted to do that periodic set too, because not only are the colors super vibrant, the backs are completely slanted, which is a shame, but like the colors on the front are completely beautiful. And then the foiling that has the numbers and the borders around the image. I don't know what happened, but I saw that card in person and I was just like, because I got Gambit. I pulled an orange Gambit out of a metal box and a Cyclops, and they were beautiful. They're gorgeous.
I think I got Jubilee out of my box.
I think you did get Jubilee.
I got something. I can't remember what now. I parted with it soon afterwards, but I have to say it was probably one of the nicest elements of that set.
Standout for sure. Yeah. It was definitely a standout kind of situation. But yeah, those cards are gorgeous, man. Yeah.
But no, I've done that before. I've gotten quite close to the end on a chase set, and because someone has specifically gone after something, or it's been so limited, I've actually bailed on the rest of the set as a result, which is possibly a little bit like, well, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. But a lot of card collectors do it. And yeah, I'll tell you the interesting thing about how my perception and approach has changed over the last year, 18 months. I've come to the stage where I'm like, you know what, just be happy to own the parts that you've got. And that's kind of, and I had to properly land that with Spider-Man Metal Universe, because it's just, the prices are too bonkers. The greens, I'm never going to be able to afford a green. And if I could afford it, I'm not sure I'd want to spend that money on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just kind of got to say, it's too rich for my blood. Just walk away. Just be happy with the elements I've got. So, I won't ever, unless I see it for a stupid price, I won't ever chase the orange of 25 of the low series there. I just happen to find that high series at a good price, but I'm not actively looking for the low series one.
So, I've turned down a card multiple times now because I couldn't get my head wrapped around paying the price that they wanted, which was the Silver Spectrum Auto from MM16, the 1 out of 10. Like, I have the Alpha What If, which I love. It's a beautiful card. Like, I'm super happy to have that card. And I have other cards from the set, but I've passed on that card 3 times now, because I couldn't wrap my head around paying the price for that card. And most people will now be like, man, $1,400 was cheap. You should have grabbed it then. And I was like, I couldn't bring my head around. And it's tough, Webby. Like, and for other character collectors out there, you're going to realize, like, certain cards for your characters should cost more than modern cards that are going for now. And when you realize that you've paid for something almost like half or even a quarter for something in your collection that's so integral to your character collection that when you see a green PMG that comes out for a new set, another PMG, you're kind of like, why would I want this when I already have this in the collection? And that goes back to saying, appreciate what you have and not get so fixated on, the new shiny thing.
Yeah. The only thing that the only chance I thought I had, I got on EPAC and I pulled a Carnage Platinum Portrait. And so I tried to see if I could get a couple of people to maybe trade me for, for something like that. Or a couple of, some people that had, I think I saw 3 or 4 people on EPAC that had the green PMG. And one guy wanted a green Krull. What's the character that's the Venom? Oh, saying that wrong. Anyway, I couldn't pay that. Can't pay $4,000 or $5,000 for. Yeah,
crazy town. That's
Absolutely.
crazy. That's not worth it because you can buy original card art for that. What is the point of that? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It really doesn't. Like, I bought that stupid green PMG Surfer thing for, 22, whatever it was, right? Which was dumb. That was idiotic. Okay, just put that out there. It was super dumb to do that. I just had cards that I sold that fit it, so I was lucky. But like, you can buy original art, or you can buy cards that actually, I don't know, that do some, you know what I mean? That like I don't know. Like, I don't want to say too much, but like, it doesn't make sense to me to get into that kind of stuff as a character collector. You know what I mean? Because for me, and when I started this, no one was doing Surfer, just one other person. You know what I mean? Like, really, like, seriously, one other person, and like collecting, it in totality kind of stuff. And the only thing I was having troubles with was sketch cards, like the older ones in particular. But like, I don't know. I'm never going to do that. Like, that's over. Like, the whole era of getting every Surfer card, I'm not collecting 20 renditions of Surfer from a Fantastic Four metal box if it ever comes out. I'm just not doing it. I just don't care. It'll never happen.
You heard it here first, other Surfer collectors. You heard it here first.
It's your opportunity, guys.
I've just suddenly realised I'm halfway through the video and I've still got this stupid hat on. I'm probably wondering why I've got this stupid hat on.
You're freezing.
My flowing locks. It is absolutely freezing over here right now. Do you, Webby, have you kind of gone to the lengths that Norrin and I have, and have you created yourself like a hit list, like a big checklist of all the stuff out there that you might want to go for?
I have a little list that I've put together. I found some stuff online that I think it went on Beckett, and I started originally. You start at the end and start working your way back. I think. And I was going to ask you, Ian, you'd know more about this than me, but this you've got the regular McLaughlin, right, from the first set,
1989, yeah.
And they came out. Did they just redo the?
It's Fleer Retro.
Card? Is that,
yeah, Fleer Retro. So yeah, they used the same artwork. Yeah.
In a way, I thought it was pretty cool, but.
I love that.
Also confusing.
Well, it's not the same artwork, right? It's the same. Like, let me see the McLaughlin one.
It's from the comic.
I feel like, yeah, but the McLaughlin one,
they've changed the bordering and they've zoomed in, basically, for the retro version.
It looks like it's a little. Sorry,
I wasn't sure if that McLaughlin one was stenciled. That's why I was pointing it out, because like, how a lot of those comic image things, like they use the original image and then they do new coloring or new stenciling. So I wasn't sure if the new Black Cat was like a direct copy from the panel.
Here's the thing. I'm kicking myself because on eBay, the comic cut of that exact panel from Amazing Spider-Man 316, I hadn't spotted it when it was live. I saw it on sold listings and I was like, mother, because that would have gone absolutely perfectly with the Comic Images
Oh,
1989
that's painful.
and the Fleer Retro one. Imagine having the three like together. But someone's got that. Not us.
Yeah, but that would be amazing. But
That's hardcore.
yeah, and there's some stuff I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know there was multiples of. Like, I went in the same time I got the red PMG. I got the and I got lucky and got the alpha of the
Nice.
EX13.
Very nice.
But I didn't even know that there was more than one EX. You know, so you have to do the research. You have to get on and make yourself a checklist and a hit list and hope that it pops up. Find the places. You know, you go to ComC and you can find things a little bit cheaper on some of it, but
well, it's difficult because your character name doesn't always appear in the card name. So when you're using things like Beckett or anything else, the number of cards I've found, especially in the TCG, and I don't know if you've gone into the TCG realm, but especially in that, you rarely have the character name in the card title.
A little bit, but it was one of those things where it was confusing. I didn't know where to start or where to go. So, that's another, building relationships with people that know. And, like when we went to this whole trading card night, I really thought that I had spent a lot of money on these cards in the last couple of years. I'm nothing compared to some of these people that we met and people that, I learned so much and it opened my eyes to what's really out there in the comic world, period. But and you're talking about original art, not to get off the subject, but we walked around a little bit and there's so much great original art out there. And the artists, man, we spent a whole day just going up and down Artist Alley and talking to the artists. And you guys had on a lady that worked at, was it Marvel?
Renee Witterstatter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great podcast. Hearing her stories in the 80s and the whenever she had worked there, that was a really good podcast. But some of the people that are in the hobby, when they get talking, we figure out that they've got great imaginations, and it's just we had a blast.
Oh, cool!
That's awesome.
I'm so pleased you managed to have that experience, because it's especially after the few years we've all had. It's nice to be out and about.
It is nice.
Yeah. The other podcast that I was going to talk about that you guys that taught me a little bit was about the saving money, so when something does pop up on eBay, you've got the money for it.
Oh, card fund.
Beginning, beginning, you just start buying stuff and putting together different sets, and you have to streamline it. I don't have the blue blue PMG to the red set, and one popped up, and I was like, I just spent that 3 days ago on something that I'd like to have, but not like I'd like to have that, But,
I do. What is it? I have a stupid little book thing where I keep track of like what are the major things I'm still missing.
Oh, you're old school. You write it down.
Yeah, I write it down. just in case they come after me. You know what I mean? I told Emily where to light the match and just light it all on fire. But I have a want list. I have different things I consider are big for the collection. I got people's names in here who I know are holding cards that are less than 10, little things like that. You start getting deep into the weeds with this stuff. I'm on. So this is something fun to share.
Yeah, that's scary.
This is the printing plate hunt I'm on. So this shows all the printing plates Surfer has. and then I mark down which ones I know where are they at and what I have and who has them.
Nice. Yeah, I do that. Now, plates is the one thing.
Webby's like, oh, these guys are crazy. I gotta go.
Plates is the one
what
thing.
I was saying is it's different from what a little black book was in the 20s to what it is in the. Is that a little black book?
Emily, my wife has nothing to worry about. I'm definitely that meme. I wonder what my husband's doing. I'm just looking at my surfer cars like,
I never had a little black book.
I had a little black book.
Dating myself.
I was dating myself at the time.
Pretty much, yeah. No, I am
surfer card.
I can't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, plates. Now, plates is the one thing where I'm pretty without roof, because they're never going to pop up again. I don't think I've ever seen a plate that I missed resurface on the market.
Really, they're that popular. People pick up the plates like.
Yeah, but because people who plate collect do so for different reasons. There's a major plate collector in Australia who's
Andrew Morrow.
Lovely guy, and he's
Super
got some
awesome.
really high-end marble
nice
plates. But he won't compromise on his goals. So what he will do, he will trade them for plates he wants for things that he's moving on. So he's moved more onto Star Wars now. I mean, he's still got some great Marvel plates, but he will want to trade them, or he will sell them for top dollar because he's got plates that command that. So from sets like Masterpieces, and a few from Premiere. Now the one thing I will say is people sometimes misunderstand how to price plates. Masterpieces does not equal annual in terms of the prices that the market will bear.
Yeah, people are crazy. People lost their minds.
So, it is interesting. But the one thing I will say is that because I have a master spreadsheet, I call it a master spreadsheet because I'm that vain and proud of it. But no, it's taken me about 2 years to build it, of almost every Black Cat card, sticker and trading card game I know to exist, and I'm still finding stuff.
Can I get a copy of that?
Yeah, you might be able to.
Well, he's like, how's that going?
Taylor, avert your ears. Slide into my DMs afterwards, dear boy. But I know from that I own just under 50% of all the plates ever created for Black Cat, simply because I've tracked them.
I love it.
That's awesome.
But this is the one thing that bugs me about the way that Upper Deck now do the plate set achievements, is because it means that only one person can touch that kind of rainbow experience if they're going after the character. So basically, it means for a character collector, it used to be that you could maybe have a plate from a set of 4, and I could have a plate from a set of 4, and we'd have a rainbow that included a plate. But because they're starting to do them in sets now, only one collector can have that experience.
Doesn't it go by like the amount of money the person spends? So like if you spend more
they do
money,
the achievements.
you have a better chance.
Yeah, they do the achievements. Yeah. So basically, it's if you've got the money to go in that hard on EPAC, because let's face it, you do need the capital behind you to do it. Even if you want to like do it by trading, you've still got to get that trade collateral to go for it. So yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about the way that Upper Deck have chosen to do those plate sets. I mean, I've been lucky in that the first plate set they did was anime, and it wasn't a booklet. They're still 4 separate entities. They're 4 separate plates. And the person who got that did eventually come to terms with me, and I managed to acquire that. But the ones for Spider-Man Metal Universe, both of them are still on EPAC. I know both the collectors who have them, and hats off to them. They've got deeper pockets than I, and they managed to chase, and those are the ones they pulled. Could I afford them if they put them up for sale? Probably not. But if there was one of those plates out like in physical product and another one on EPAC and maybe another 2 in pack walls, depending on how they do it, chances are that someone's got a chance to obtain one. So that's one thing that does bug me slightly about that. I think that, not just from my point of view, from a black cat collecting point of view, but just generally for everyone out there. I think, taking those plates out of Gen Pop, as the prison people talk, apparently, according to the movies, taking those plates out of Gen Pop, I think it's nice for your repack system, and it's nice for that, but I don't think it's very good for the collectors, personally. But
yeah, and
I admit that I'm biased in that view. But hey,
talking about the anime set, that's so when I first met Taylor, that's where she was all about anime. She would love watching anime. Period. She's started to try to put together a set from the Marvel anime. We've opened up a box, and I think we've got the base and the what's the second one? The
Hyper Mosaic.
I think it's Hyper Mosaic.
We're on the New Moon.
Mega Moon.
Oh, Mega Moon. Yes. New Moon. Did I just have a Twilight reference on there?
Twilight reference.
No one will start sparkling in a minute if you're not careful.
Right. But that's one thing I have been lucky with, is that it's not just me, and this is something me and her have been able to share and have some fun with. She does, like, when it comes to the comics and reading the comics, though, she likes some of the darker stuff, but I have been lucky in that part. It's been fun to do with some.
This is wonderful.
Everybody with you. That's awesome.
You've got a wing lady.
I do.
A wing lady. How long have you two been together?
A little over a year now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, been together.
Wow.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. You've got to keep her.
Now you guys can, like, sleep in shifts and check blue dots on eBay. You know what I mean? So, like, she goes to bed for an hour and then you won't miss anything. That makes sense.
We have several alarms set.
Perfect.
Yeah.
A good system.
Or like a team, like Whaler, Wes and Taylor.
I love it.
Okay.
That was an image. Thank you for that. So what else? Now, I've just noticed on the shelf behind you, because how could I not, a CGC Black Cat issue 1 variant.
Yes, that one's probably my
the milk bath. Is that Marco someone did that one, if I remember correctly? Who's the artist?
I thought it was...
Just about see it up there. So for those watching on YouTube, you'll see this any moment now. For those not watching on YouTube, I'll put an image of this on the tasting notes, because I have a raw copy of that one. Here it comes. He's gone to get his CGC book. It's almost like we rehearsed this.
I thought it was. Is it J. Scott Campbell?
Oh, is it J. Scott Campbell? Yes, it is. Of course. Yeah.
Oh, in the
Sorry.
milk bath.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Nice.
Yeah, this is one that I picked up myself, but
here we go. Oh, lovely. So is that signed as well?
Wow.
Very nice.
That's really cool.
And then she got me this one too. Signed. I got the.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. He's a supporter.
An enabler.
That's cool. An enabler in the household. That's the way you want it.
This is what we like. No, and you've not done too many in the CGC books, have you? Did you have an issue 1 Silver Surfer? Did I see?
Yeah. So I have. Yep. Hold on. Yeah. So I have a issue 1 Surfer, and then I recently just did all sorts. There you go.
Very nice. Very nice. So for those, there we go. So a nice display cabinet there in Noren's office. I'm just looking at their Silver Surfer 1. What's the one on the right? Is that Surfer Black?
No, that's I did have a Surfer Black. That's Mando number 1.
Oh, it's Mando.
Sorry. Yeah.
You've got a remote control for the lights in your cabinet, in your display cabinet.
Yeah, 'cause I'm awesome.
That's next level. That is absolutely outrageous. Oh, I see.
That took
There
a
we
while
go.
to install. Yeah, but so I got Mando 1, and then there's Surfer. So those are just the two, kind of just the main collections I'm doing right now. So I just got those 2 books. Probably the next books I'll do is what is it called? Is I have the trio, so I'm kind of screwed on the whole first appearance thing. So I got to do 3 books, but I don't know. I'll wait. I'll see if I ever do that. I'll probably just work on upgrading the 1 Surfer 1 to like a higher grade.
Yeah.
And just go from there, and then maybe do 48 and 49 down the road. But I'm not really interested in having to have everything. I did that with the cards, and that's my main collection. That's what I'm happy with.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to draw the line somewhere, man. Otherwise, you're buying this stuff forever.
So last week we could see you, but we couldn't hear you. You had a Black Hat T-shirt on. Is that a professionally made one, or is that something you did yourself? Is that a homebrew?
No, I found that online actually, and
Nice.
I think it was just professionally made on the site. Yeah, I'll slide into your DMs and send you the link.
Dear boy.
I'm sitting right here.
Because I've never been able to find one, but I guess I'm just looking in the wrong places. So
There's like the official Marvel shirts are expensive. Like they're stupid expensive.
yeah. No, I had a
tough.
good look at the Boston Fan Expo, and there were a lot of T-shirt sellers there.
Yeah.
Nothing doing.
It's serious.
And they had some really vague characters. I mean, I could have walked away with a Fool Killer T-shirt, for example. That's quite niche. I think they even had some New Universe characters on T-shirts, but no Black Hat. So I'd happily rock a New Universe T-shirt. I've no shame. Whereas when you end up going into Black Hat and you end up buying things like foreign issues, he says, reaching for one that he thought was behind him, but where is
The
it?
TCG stuff, Webby, by the way, is tough. Like if what I would do with the Versus system is look at decks that are Spider-Man theme and just look through every card on eBay and what you go to eBay and you look at lots. So you go Versus system lot of cards and you just go scroll down through the images. And that's how I spotted a lot of surfers.
He's going to get my list.
That's right. You don't have to worry.
I've done the work, so you don't have to.
Someone paved the road already. You'll have a mentor.
So how about a nice French reprint?
Oh, that's so cool.
And a lot of the French ones have covers that are unique to France as well.
That's so cool.
So for some reason they called it Strange Le Journal de Spider-Man, which makes it really difficult to search for on eBay because it comes up with Doctor Strange stuff all the time. But there's loads of really good French covers, and they're a bit smaller, as you can see, than the UK, and they're quite chunky. They're kind of square bound.
The other thing to know for character collectors out there, know how to spell your character name in different languages. And eBay search that sucker. So like Spanish, French, German. Like if you know how to spell your character's name and those things, like you put that in the search bar in eBay and you can find all that other. So that was fun to figure out.
Here's the depth of the regret. Here's the depth of the regret and the madness.
Don't do it, man. This is
week,
so depressing.
I was searching for. There's a set that is a TCG that came out on magazines in Europe, but it also came out in Russia and Ukraine. Okay. It's called Spider-Man Heroes and Villains. There is a Russian language version, and there was a lot listed from Kiev in Ukraine. And I started watching it, and I was thinking, that's a bit spicy because there's literally only 2 cards in there or 1, but they're Russian language. Properly, they're official stuff. Because not everything, it wasn't this way forever, folks. Believe it or not, 10 years ago things were a little bit less crazy. When this set came out, and I missed it. Someone else bought it, like the whole lot. Just went. So I went and bought myself the first UK appearance.
Shaggy up in here. It wasn't me.
Yeah. So, but then you can console yourselves with buying things like this that are relatively cheap and local.
That's cool.
First UK appearance.
Wow.
Of Black Cat.
That's so it's got the spectacular. Oh, it's a spectacular weekly. So
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
Okay.
So basically, in the UK, the reprints were. I mean, this is a larger format. This is a US size book. For comparison, get the bottom. You see,
it's so cool.
Bigger.
I just got my copy of that too.
It's beautiful. It's such a good Art Adams cover. It's absolutely stunning. But this was a weekly title that ran for pretty much 30 years, but it kept changing its name. So it would be, and it runs. I mean, this is issue 350, and this is from 1979. Fast forward to issue 535 from 1983.
Oh, that's so fun.
Do you see what I mean? It's changed. Have you got a dog in the background,
cool,
by the way?
Yeah, that's Apollo, and he's playing with. I don't know if I told you guys this or not, but there was a at the dealership that I work at. There's some construction going on, and some construction workers found found 3 little kittens. They were 2 and 3 weeks old, and one of them was black, and so I adopted a little black cat, and I was gonna name her at the time, Felicia, or Black Cat. Come to find out it's a boy, so its name's just Hardy.
Nice.
Not
but
Felicio.
You have got one step further. You can forget my Ukraine story. You've actually adopted a living being that happens to be a black cat. I can't imagine Norrin ever adopting a silver creature, although I'm sure you would.
Funny enough, my first cat was a silver cat. It was white, gray, and I called her Silver. That was my first cat.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Here's my cat now.
What a lump. What a lump. Look at her just chilling there.
She's a hardy lump.
And then, in 1982, it was Super Spider-Man TV comic. For a little bit.
You've got some.
These are the rabbit holes that you go down. I mean, this is all just UK stuff, but every country was doing a similar version. So in the last month or so, I've started looking at Brazilian versions of Black Cat appearances, Spanish versions of Black Cat appearances, Dutch ones, and that is a big rabbit hole to go down. Fortunately for me in the UK, these are, despite the covers being absolutely bonkers. I mean, look at that cover.
That's a cool cover.
It's they're relatively cheap, but some of the more scarce overseas language appearances, they just get crazy. So you need to pick your battles. I think that's the thing about being a character collector. Just pick your battles.
You have to pick your battles. You have to pick your battles.
I don't know. Did you have anything else you wanted to ask us?
Well, I guess one thing I wanted to ask was, had you, with the talk of these movies and stuff, have you thought of who might be a good actress for? I haven't really thought about it. It just popped in my head.
Depends. This is like fantasy football. This is, isn't it? I don't know. Let me think. I might have to come back to you on this one. I mean, it would depend on when I'm answering the question. If I was answering the question 20 years ago, I'd have said Heather Graham, randomly, for example.
Yeah.
But now I don't know. I'm kind of glad that much as I love the actress, I can't remember her name now, who's in Rogue One, who was almost Black Cat if they'd made a third Andrew Garland Spidey movie.
Oh, was that the talk?
Yeah, because she was casted. So in the second Amazing Spider-Man film, the one with Electro, she's only in it very little, but her character name is Felicia Hardy.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
I do remember.
So,
I remember that. I didn't know that was.
What's her name, the actress?
Is
it?
I don't know. I
Felicity
don't know
someone?
her name.
No,
From Rogue One. I should
Yeah.
know her name. I just
The main
saw her
actress
auto
from Rogue
running
One.
around.
I'm just,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
just,
remember
I'm
her name.
having a complete mental blank.
She's a good one.
Anyway,
I always like. I don't know. I mean, in my head, actress wise for
Felicity
Black Cat.
Jones?
I don't know why this. I was gonna say. Oh my gosh! Carrie Russell from The Americans.
Kerry Russell, interesting.
I kind of like her a lot.
I like her. I like her a lot too. I was
Like
I was
if you
really
saw The
excited
Americans,
about,
you'd probably see what I was saying. Like
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
watch The Americans, you can tell really that she could probably, you know what I mean? Like she could carry the look, she could carry the attitude and the personality really well.
right. Are you much of a TV person, Ian? Or like shows or movies?
Yeah. Oh, good grief! Yeah. Americans. We did 2 seasons of them. We bailed after that, but
I think it's a great show.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, we're currently we're just watching Slow Horses at the moment, the Apple TV show with Gary Oldman, which is really good.
I have to watch it.
I've heard that was good. I haven't got a chance to watch that one yet.
Yeah, it's kind of
Felicity
like
Jones is who that.
Felicity Jones.
Felicity
There we
Jones.
go. There we go. Oh, I got it half right. Felicity something. I don't know. I really don't know on this one. I'll probably have a different answer next week. Once I've thought about it some more. What about you, Webby? At this point, the correct answer is Taylor, I should say.
Right. Right.
Smooth. That was good. We should have signed it to him though, so he would have gotten extra points for that. But we'll work on that.
You just can't see the cosplay that we've used.
You keep that quiet to yourself, man. But
I have a cosplay of Black Cat too, Taylor. Watch out, son. I look great.
Well, have you ever seen the stats on the back of the cards? She's supposed to be 6'1" or 6'2" or something crazy like that.
Is she really supposed to be that tall?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think some of the cards have that's the thing with these stats on the back of the cards. I wish they'd actually check and have a central repository to go for, because they're always different.
So cool. I know. Sometimes the power meters on the server has been pretty similar.
Well,
Power meters haven't
I
changed
suppose.
too much, have they? I feel like someone was smart enough to keep track of that in some regard.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the back of some of these cards. I don't have them all here. I've just only got a small pocket full of graded ones here, but I'm just trying to find some that I've got. Right, so 1990 Marvel Universe. On the back of that, it says that she's 5'10", but I've absolutely swear I've read something on a different card from a few years after that said she was 6'1", or something crazy like that. Or it might have been in the back of a comic or something like that. So
That's pretty tall.
Yeah, they're just making it up as they go along. They really are.
She's going to be too tall and too much taller than Spidey.
Well, she is taller than Spidey. If you look in the comics, that's the one thing they consistently do
is she
get
really?
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Must have climbed that mountain. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's Tom Cruise syndrome.
I was trying to make Webby laugh.
I was wondering, because I was thinking about this the other day. The movie Unbreakable, with the talk of what's going on.
They call me Mr. Glass. It was the kids.
The first one with Bruce Willis is like one of my favorites.
Yes.
Even though it's not like a real comic book movie, but
it is.
Do you guys like that?
It's my favorite comic book movie.
Well, that's
full stop.
That's hefty. That's hefty.
That was something else I noticed too about like when you get in and you start talking to people that are character Marvel collectors, you also find out that you have commonality, other things that you like too. Like me and Ian had a short talk about Star Trek and that card that you have of Antibon.
Ricardo Montalban.
The Star Trek, and then with you, Norn, the love of the bounty hunters, the Mandalorian.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
Mando.
I was thinking. I think I picked up at a garage sale. Like I think I picked up one of this. It's folded up in my closet somewhere, but it's one of the original stand-ups from the from the movie when they had the stand-ups where they put in the corners of, like video stores and stuff. From
yes.
this, I don't know, I'll have to pull it out and see if I'll let you know if you might want some interest.
You guys want to know something crazy? This is something, Webby, and I don't know if Ian has this because I don't know. Ian, are there any Black Cat standees out there?
Not that I'm aware of.
So this is crazy. I had no idea this existed for a long time.
I've who knows what Nolan's about to pull out of his closet.
So
Yeah, I know.
cover your eyes, children. No, but there's actually a Silver Surfer standee.
Oh wow.
Isn't
That's
that funny?
nice.
I had no idea
That's
this
nice.
existed for a long time. Yeah.
What's that from?
For Joe Jusko. This was in.
Oh, Joe was talking
this
about. I
is
remember
actually
seeing
from
Joe
Joe.
posting about it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think this actually might be Joe's, but like they had these at promotional things at comic book stores and stuff like that. So they had a few different ones. So
Nice.
yeah, I've been telling a few people to like make sure to keep an eye out because there might be, you know what I mean, one or two standing somewhere or whatever the case may be. But yeah.
How do you get you guys you get all these some of the relationships you have with the people at Upper Deck and the people from Marvel and Joe Jusko? It's impressive the people that you guys get on this Webby guy you guys got on the show. Just kidding. Have you guys just built the relationships with people over the years for having people on the podcast? How long has the podcast been going? I think there's
we're in our 4th year.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll be
That's
4th
awesome.
anniversary next year, I think.
How did
Yeah.
you guys meet?
There's a
Facebook
website.
group.
Facebook. It was Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook group. Yeah,
Great.
for nerds
I
reunited.
swiped left way too hard.
Yeah. He does as well. He bruised me. Oh dear! I bruise easily. What's your safe word? No, is where. Well, you
Radish.
joined. You joined
Radish. Tony wants
Radish.
me to say radish.
Radish. Tony Perner.
Radish.
Tony Perner.
No, I mean it took like there was major like at the beginning it was major tag teaming between Ian and I. Like Ian and I would come up with a wish list and then we'd go back and forth and try to like hit people up, and it took a lot of that for a while. And then we were the only ones in the game, and then we had been here for a long time prior to that. I mean, Ian had just left a group that was pretty popular at the time, but had a lot of kind of like dumb stuff going on where they were like, you know, trashing artists' work or like they wouldn't ship globally and all that kind of stuff. And Ian had the foresight to create a group that would not do those kind of stupid things. And then he started the podcast and asked me to come on. Kind of just right. Yeah. One of the first ones to do it, really.
Very structured.
Me?
Are you a very structured person? Yeah. Like
Possibly. I have my moments. I think I'm more structured work-wise than I am personal. So, I mean, ultimately, I just wanted to. I kind of made my own playground where people could come and play and talk about cards because I didn't like the vibe in the other ones that were out there at the time. So that's where it comes to. But no, just in terms of the people on the podcast, it's just relationship building at the end of the day. With persistence. I mean, we were talking to Joe for 2+ years, but it's not that he didn't want to come on. He's just busy, So stuff going on. So and then stars aligned, and he was called to do it. But during COVID, there were a lot of people who were. We had some of our kind of biggest interviews during that period, that kind of COVID year, I guess, simply because we had a little bit more time and energy to put into creating those relationships, and everyone else was suddenly used to doing this over the internet. Everyone advanced digitally massively in terms of adoption of this type of technology in the space of weeks, So it became a lot easier to convince people to sit down and talk to us. in this way, which was pretty cool.
Are you guys doing any cons or anything like that here in the near future? Anything you get the planned? I know it's tougher for you with you being. Oh, that was the other question I had, not to get totally, but do you call it football or soccer?
The English football, I call it soccer because I'm a fan of American football, which you guys just call football. So, but yeah, I'm an NFL fan primarily. So, cons. Well, no, and you've probably got. I don't know. Have you got anything in the diary for next year yet with your CGC hat on?
It just depends, man.
Notwithstanding.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to want to do. I know they go to a bunch of cons and stuff like that, but I don't know if I'll be invited to go. Like, I wanted to do the New York one because I wanted to give out those sample exclusive slab things, and I wanted to like show people original art. Plus, I thought it was important for people to like to see the connection between original art and the comic books. You know what I mean? And I thought New York was a big enough one to do it in. Yeah. I don't know. I wanted to do that. I wanted to get those out there and do all that kind of fun stuff. But like, oh gosh, for the next one, I actually have no idea. I don't know if I'm going to go to nationals. I know Ian and I have talked in the past about wanting to do an actual like con for us, you know what I mean? Like an actual get together for us and all that stuff. I know other people, you know, Fuller and some other people want to do that too and have something coming out, you know, and all of us would do it together. Obviously, like no one would be left out, you know, it'd be kind of like that trade night, but we would have like a couple artists there and maybe people who like would actually sell cards at a card show.
Yeah.
You know, right, I think the biggest thing about a card show for us, the best thing to do, and the reason why I think everyone would come out is if they got to see cards they could never see online and cards that they could never get online and actually be available in person, either cash, trade, or something. I don't know. I really wish there was a way where it could happen and it be really worth everybody's time to come hang out, other than just seeing each other and having fun. I mean, like, you know, that's also the other thing, but no card shows in my mind. If there is one, I'm going to be hitting people up and tell people I'm going somewhere, but I can't think of anything right now. And I'm all pooped out from this year. I'm tired of traveling.
Pooped out. Oh dear.
I'm all exhausted from this year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, listen, I'd love to do another one. I mean, I had bigger plans for this year coming than circumstances have allowed, unfortunately. With the economy doing what it's doing, my income's taken a big hit this year. So it's very unlikely I'll be able to afford any type of vacation to the States this year. And I really wanted to, because I wanted to do San Diego Comic-Con for my 50th, because I'm 50 that weekend. So
wow, that I didn't realize it was that weekend.
Yeah, no, my birthday's the 24th of July, and if I've got the dates right, I think it's that weekend. Yeah, the 24th is the Monday, so yeah, I think it's the preceding weekend. It's always that weekend, San Diego Comic-Con. It always coincides. But I don't think that's going to happen, realistically speaking, because I thought, you know, I'd even, with the market being what it was, I put up that purple PMG and that green PMG up for sale, because I figured, okay, if I can do that, there's a really good family vacation for next year, 2 weeks in the States, do some stuff, see some people. Do you know what I mean? And actually, you know, have that as an experience lived rather than a card sat there that, you know, is nice, but you know, the market's kind of a bit dry at the moment and no one really wants to spend the money on it. So everyone wants a deal at the moment. So unfortunately, that's back in the vault. And yeah, it doesn't look like I'm going to get much of a holiday next year, unfortunately, or much of a hobby spend. So yeah. So no is the short answer.
Well, I was that made me think about something about when we were talking about the cons. I met in the Artist Alley, Steve McNiven, Steve McNiven.
Yeah.
And I bought a print of the Wolverine cover that he did. That is a card in the X-Men metal set. The Wolverine where
Is it
he's
Death of
coming out.
Wolverine?
Nice.
Yeah. I was talking to him, and he had no idea that it was an actual card.
Yeah.
It just made me think like how much room this hobby has to grow if even the artists don't know that there's cards out there, and probably won't know until they see them or somebody takes a card to them to have them sign. Or,
Exactly.
something like that.
Yeah. We had the same at Boston. Pankit spoke to him, and Pankit was talking to him about his signature on a card. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, and Steve McNiven said he just signed the labels. He's never seen the finished card because he just signed stickers. I think it was from maybe Marvel 80th or Marvel Ages, one of those
Ages
stickers. Yeah, I can't remember. He just done the sticker autos and he's never seen the card.
He said to me, he was like, cards. He's like, no, I don't think I've ever done any cards. He's like, I did do a Luke Skywalker here like 5 or 6 years ago, and so I've been trying to chase that ever since. But I just thought it was interesting that, and I did get a print of the Amazing Spider-Man here behind us too, and a couple other things. It was a great experience talking to all those artists. That's for sure.
Yeah,
it's really fun. It's really fun.
You
It's a
guys
shame.
Do you have a favorite artist or just, I guess it's probably like pizza, right? There's no real bad pizza, but there's good artists probably.
Oh yes, there is.
There.
There's a place. There's a place.
I thought about that one after I said it. Like,
there's a place in this town that we tried pizza from that I will never darken its doors again. I'm not going to mention them. Not that anyone will care. There was also one time when I was in Germany and a few beers had been had, and we went to a place that served pizza chicken curry. And yes, I ordered it, and no, it wasn't good. Artist. I mean, I'm always a fan of Dodson. Frank Cho. I don't think he's ever done a proper. He's done variant covers, but I don't think he's ever done kind of a proper mainstream work on Black Cat, as far as I know. But I met him at Boston Con and got a print off him. And I was saying, I really like this book, and it's great. And, and it turned, and he was looking really confused. And there's me futzing with my phone, just trying to figure out if I got the right book and all this sort of stuff. And it was all very embarrassing. And about half an hour later, I realized that it was a book that Terry Dodson had done. I was trying to talk to Frank Cho about it. So,
I went to Arthur Adams' booth, and I bought a Wolverine print that was numbered out of 25. It was beautiful. And I put on, I bought it and I put it on Instagram saying, oh, I got this beautiful Arthur Adams print. And then somebody sent me a message that it was like, no, that's not Arthur Adams. It's somebody totally different. I can't remember the name now, but I was so surprised. Like, why would that print be at his booth unless he was sharing it with something else? But I did something weird. Kind of. It was.
Oh, we've all done it. We've all done it.
We've all done it.
Amanda was telling me a story where she presented a book to Bill Sienkiewicz, and he signed it, but he said it's not my artwork.
But he signed it anyway.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, she'll tell that story better than me, but I'm sure she told us that. But yeah, no, people get it all the time at cons, I think. So, which is hilarious. We should probably wrap up.
Yeah.
And head for the hills. Are you working today, Mr. Webby?
Me? Yes. Yeah. I'll be there.
Yeah.
In a little bit.
Good. All right. Are you working today, Naren?
No. Sunday.
No. Okay.
Sunday for me.
Well, the only thing I'll be working on is a bottle of port in about half an hour's time with some cheese. So,
so busy.
I'm
Such a busy schedule.
I'm one of those people. I've got a really busy week coming up. Actually, I've got a full week training course that I'm on.
Oh wow!
So it's going to be
For
quite
work?
bonkers. For work,
Yeah.
yes, it will give me a qualification. It will give me letters after my name. Should you desire these things? So yes, they're paying for it. I'm doing it. Thank you very much.
I haven't said it before. I really appreciate everything you guys have done for this hobby. I've learned so much from your podcast and just from talking to you. So welcoming, and I don't know if there's anything I could ever do to repay for what you guys have done so far. So
Bless you, sir. Bless you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Well, I'll tell you
nice,
what you could do. What you could do that would really help us out is, how we sign off our podcasts?
Yes, I do. I do remember.
This is good because now Lord Wesley of Web is your chance to say to our listeners and end the episode with our customary sign off of
This is Wesley Webb. You're listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, and just enjoy collecting.
Thanks for listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. Visuals and tasting notes for each episode can be found on our Facebook page. You can subscribe and leave us a voicemail via our home on anchor.fm/MCCP. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. Please take a second to subscribe, like, and review our show wherever you get your podcasts. Our podcast can be found by Googling at the MCC Pod, which will also find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Our Facebook community is at MCCW, Marvel Card Collectors Worldwide, and MMC, Marvel Masterpieces Collectors. The great music we use is called Rocket Power by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to the collectors, artists, and creators who support the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. We'll see you next time, and remember, it's a small hobby but a fun one. Make mine Marvel and enjoy collecting.